Welcome to Home Team Advantage. With Mike Egan, I'm Gary Gimbetti here to discuss today's topics in sports. And we were off last week.
Yeah, what happened?
We had, I had some training to go through and then had
Potty training?
potty training, definitely. I got to get used to my depends.
I got some extra ones at home you can have.
Well, at least I got somebody who has them. But then we had the cross country meet, the Section 7 AA cross country meet, and we were going to try to do this show at noon or whatever, or 12:30, and that got blown by the wayside.
Right.
But yeah, we can take some time off every once in a while.
But the girls' team did well?
Girls team won, second year in a row. First, I think the first time they did it was back when Sylvia Zambrano was running here, and that was 1982, 83, and 84, or 82, 83, 84, 85, where they won three in a row, I believe.
That's before my time.
Yeah, and then when Missy Johnson was running here, they won back-to-back titles in either 89 or 90 or 90 and 91.
Well,
So this is the third time in the history of the program where they've won back-to-back titles. So congratulations to Coach Please and his staff on preparing the girls, and it was fun watching them win. I mean,
and now they go to,
state tournament this Saturday in Northfield, so they'll run down there. Last year, I believe they were in 10th out of 16 teams. They placed 10th. But they, according to Coach Please, the girls didn't handle the atmosphere very well that first time down there. So hopefully this year they're more relaxed and run better races.
and hopefully the weather holds. I mean, now we'll probably get into a snowstorm or something.
Well, I don't know what it's supposed to be the next 2 days, but there might be rain. I heard maybe some rain in the forecast, but that'd be better than having the snow probably.
Right.
So, yeah, hopefully they can finish in the top. I mean, top 5 would be great, but at least if they get inside the top 10, then that would be not a bad showing for them.
Yeah. Well,
But-
just even an accomplishment just to make it to state. And as you said, 2 years in a row, that's pretty good running. That's a lot of running.
That's a lot of run, yeah. And, and please, let's make this a habit, It's not just for the next 2 years or next year. Next year they have everybody back. So they have a good chance at least going to state again. Rock Ridge, though, was pretty tough on them the other day because they had 3 girls in the top 10. But Hibbings, Melina Sullivan was second behind the Maya Lampa girl from Rock Ridge, but then Rock Ridge had 2 other girls place like 5th or 6th or 6th or 7th. And our next girl was somewhere around 10, I think, but then our 3rd, 4th, and 5th runners all came in before the Rock Ridge's 4th and 5th runners. So that's what helped them win that section title. But Rock Ridge is young, I believe, and so they'll come back stronger next year, I'm sure.
Yeah.
And then the Rock Ridge boys dominated. I mean, that wasn't a surprise. They ended up winning the section title, and then Grand Rapids was second. And unfortunately, Hibbing placed 5th or 6th.
Oh.
But we were talking last week, they had some unfortunate circumstance happen where 2 of their runners couldn't run.
Oh,
So,
we don't want to talk about that.
no, we don't want to talk about that specifically on the air, but had those two ran,
You never know.
you never know.
Yep.
So
Speaking of you never know, you'll never know what's inside our sponsors today cup. What is this called?
it's a ho mint.
A whole man. You can't really get a picture of it, can you? There's a bunch of red stuff on top with whipped cream. Now, this is coffee.
Yeah, it's coffee, it's chocolate pretty much, and
Oh.
those are just mint flavored chips.
Then we're 2 months out from Christmas, and they already got yum.
Yep, they have
Rum,
their holiday
rum.
drinks out, so if you're a
Yeah.
Caribou coffee drinker, feel free to go out there and order your.
We were gonna say something real smart ass about it, but we figured we'd get in trouble for saying it, so we're not going to, right?
Only you would have said something like that, not I. And he'll come up with something before the show is over, I'm
Yep.
sure. So, but yeah, good luck to them. I hope they have a decent showing. I hope they run better. And a lot of them I talked to, when I talked to some of the runners this week, a lot of them did let it get to their head about the situation they were in and all that stuff. So now that they've had a year experience, maybe it'll be different.
Yep. And next year, hopefully, that it'll be just like Old Hat for them. Just get out there and run and do their thing. So,
Swimmers still have another week. Their section prelim meet is next Thursday, and then their finals are on Saturday. So good luck to them.
that here or Grand
That's
Rapids?
here this
Oh,
year.
good.
Yeah, that is here this year. So if you're looking for something to do,
I always said if you want something exciting, you wouldn't think of it, but go to a swim meet because people in the stands, they're crazy. I mean, it's nuts.
and the high school pool will be filled.
Yeah.
Especially Thursday, because every team brings their whole complement of swimmers. Then it gets whittled down to the top 16 in each event. Then other than the relays, it gets whittled down to what the top, how many ever teams there are, 11, 10 or 11.
How was their diving this year? Do they have anything that?
They have some decent divers, but Grand Rapids and Duluth-Denfeld will dominate that. Unfortunately, I don't think, unless, someone surprises. And you never know. They might hit maybe their first 8 dives are hit really well, and hopefully their last 3 dives are the dives
They count?
that they know they can hit and get good scores on, and maybe they can push their way up. But it's the way it's played out this year is that Denfeld and Grand Rapids will be the 2 teams that'll dominate the diving.
And that is considered springboard? Or am I?
Well, it's
way off
1
course?
meter diving.
1 meter.
1 meter. And they have their prelims are Saturday morning, next Saturday at 9 a.m. And then they do I believe their last 3 dives will be in the middle of right after the 50 freestyle.
I could do a 1 meter cannonball.
Oh, yeah, but we probably, it depends how they're scoring. Maybe you could get a 10 on it. That'd be a pretty good score.
Get everybody wet in the stands. Cannonball!
Other than that,
Our football is done.
football is done. Volleyball was done on Tuesday. I can't remember now. Maybe last Friday or something, or Thursday. They were done. They lost to Hermantown. Football, of course, lost to Esco, which is no crime, because I think Esco is going to possibly win the state 3A title.
Oh,
So,
is that a prediction?
yeah, well, they have a bunch of D1 and D2 players on that team. Now they have to play Pequot Lakes, which is Greenway National Keewatin played them, and they're I'm not going to say just as good because I don't know. I haven't seen either team play, but they're, I guess, pretty loaded too. So if you wanted to see a 7 3A final, I don't know where it's at, but that one might be a
Good one to
game
see.
to take in. But there's also the 7 9-man championship game is Friday, and that'll be Cherry and Mountain Iron Buell. There's another one if you want to take in. That could be.
And that's over
It's at Mesabi
Mesabi
East
East.
High School.
maybe next year they can play it on the new field here, huh?
Yeah, that would be nice. I noticed, like we were talking before the show, Cherry was out there practicing yesterday. I went by to see if the track was done because they had so much nice weather.
Right. To
I
paint.
figured they might be working on it, and sure enough,
Painting the lines.
the lines are there.
Yep.
I don't know how many more coats they have to put on, but if they're working today, I'm assuming all the pellets are put down
Yep.
and all that
Yep.
for the jump areas and for the track and for everything else. So maybe they got to put another coat of paint on it. I don't know, but looks good from
Yep.
where I saw it.
Well, hopefully we can take advantage of that next year when the football season starts up again. So we'll see.
I know at least they'll be at home.
Right.
And we won't have to travel, any
To Mountain
certain
Iron.
Yeah, well, I hate to, because I want to commend Mountain Iron Buell for letting us. I mean, I don't know if they let us use their field, but at least they allowed us to play games on there.
Gotta pay to play.
Well, that's true. I'm sure we had to because they have lights to pay for, and
Yep.
stuff, and that's, you know, and I don't, I'm sure their concessions, they probably ran their own concessions, I'm assuming.
I think, well, the one couple of games I went to, there actually the parents of the Hibbing kids were running the concession.
All right.
But there was some guy in a black coat standing in the back counting all the money. So I don't know what it was all about.
All right.
So, but it'll be nice, and it's like I said, you know, thanks to Mountain Iron, but that's just goes to show you that, you know, they think positive or think ahead, and they had that field, and now we have ours, and you know, everybody hopefully will be playing on a turf field someday. So
Yeah, you know, we got to get a few more numbers out
yep.
for football, and we should be fine. I mean, that's all we can say there.
Well, here we go. That's the elephant in the room, right? Program's been suffering. It needs a shot in the arm, and the only way they're going to get that and be respectable is the kids are going to have to come out and make a commitment to come out and play football. And you can't count on you know, 3 or 4 or 5 kids to carry the program, because they just don't have that. And because, you know, let's be honest, most of the kids that could be playing, whether it's football or basketball, I don't care what it is, go out and play something. I mean, you know, as a former athlete,
That's using that term loosely over here.
well, no, but you know, you don't realize the it's not advantage, but just the camaraderie you have with the other, you know, members of your team, and those are things you're going to keep with you for the rest of their life. I went to my 50th class reunion a couple of weeks ago, and it's like nothing changed. I look at the guys that are all, you know, telling the same stories, and hey, remember when we did that? Remember when we did that? And I'm thinking, no, I don't remember that, but
Probably lucky you don't remember that.
Well, there's some things. But you know, but again, you know, I had advantage. You know, the play at a, you know, bigger school, so you know, we played, you know, for a state championship in football and basketball. So it was, you know. But those are kind of things that you're not going to get walking the halls and not participating. So,
Well, just think of everybody, and I don't know how many kids are coming back, but if every one of those kids, if there's 12 of those kids, if each one brought somebody with them, that's 24 right there. And if in the next grade there's 12, there's another 24.
Right.
That's 48 players. That's more than enough.
but you got to make that commitment to get into the weight room. And every team that Hibbing played this year, you could see the difference. And those teams make it a point to get in the weight room and just to physically get bigger and better.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you're not doing it to go to the beach to flex your muscle. You got to go in to compete against the guy that's across the line from you. So.
Mm-hmm. Well, and in fairness to the coaching staff, they wanted those kids in the weight room.
Yep.
It's not like they would say, nah, you can just make up your own mind, and you can do whatever you want to do. That weight room was open every day during the summer.
But then there's that commitment, whether you want to do it or not. So let's hope that the class of next year will have a few that you got to have that leadership too. You got to have a few guys that will step up and be the leaders. So, but we wish the best to the football program.
Mm-hmm. So now, as far as winter sports go, girls hockey started Monday, practice at the arena. They will have, I know next weekend they have scrimmages going on like Friday and all day Saturday.
Well, they had a Pee Wee and Bantam scrimmage this past weekend in town. I think there were seven or eight teams participated in that.
So there you go. There, boys captains practices, I believe, started Monday night. So they'll get ready to go in a couple weeks.
You may want a sip of that. You got the hiccup.
That's okay.
You get a little cream on your lip there.
So. Just in case you're telling the truth, which I don't think you are, but so I think not next Monday, but I think the Monday following, I believe boys hockey will start with wrestling and that probably girls basketball, and then the weekend after that, the next Monday after that, boys basketball starts.
We have a new era in the boys basketball program with Coach Ani taking over the reins, and we'll see, what happens there. So who's got the girls program, do you know?
Chris Hansen is the
Chris
girls
is coaching
coach.
again. Good.
Eric
Good.
Rewerts is the boys hockey coach,
Yep.
and Pete, I believe, is
Still with the girls.
still the girls hockey coach. Haven't heard anything different.
No.
So there, and Ray Pierce will start was with the wrestling team, and I believe Bryce Wally is still the alpine ski
Okay.
coach. I think.
Now Alpine, that's the downhill guys, right?
Yes. Yeah.
And the cross country is
Well, we don't have a cross country. We don't have a Nordic ski
Nordic.
program. They used to have a club, but then last year I don't think they had enough skiers to have the club.
Oh, okay.
So they did not compete last year. Hopefully they can change that around with the nice trails out at
Kerry Lake.
Kerry Lake. Hopefully they get some participants. Maybe they can start it again. I don't know. Haven't talked to athletic director Turner yet about it, so we'll see.
Yep.
And then the HCC men's basketball team starts games next weekend. Not this weekend, but next weekend. They go down to Iowa and play some Division I junior college teams. So that'll be interesting to see. New coach there. Hopefully he turns the program around a little bit. And he says he's got a competitive roster, so.
Any local kids, do you know?
Well, Sam Cerna, I know from Cherry, is there, and I saw him on the court last night when I went down there just to watch practice, and he's the only one I can think of. If there's another, I apologize, but there is no women's basketball,
Not enough.
not enough
Participation.
participation, and that's hard to believe that you don't want to get 2 more years of competitiveness. I mean, I don't know. I mean, that's now if you're ineligible, that's one thing. If your grades weren't good enough the previous year, I don't know how many that encompasses, but we'll see. I mean, hopefully, I believe Casey did resign from that position, so she'll be the volleyball coach only, and now they'll have to go out and hire a. So if you're looking for a job, there you go. You can be the women's basketball coach.
There's not enough room over at HCC for me and my group.
Yeah, that's true. So that's pretty much covers the local scene. Well, and then I should say congratulations to GNK and their cross country, because they're going to state. The boys are going to state, and then Emma Williams and Lola Champlin from GNK girls both advanced as individuals. So congratulations to them. And then I don't want to leave out Chisholm's Olivia Pascuzzi, 7th grader, 12 years old, I think.
Oh,
Finished in the top 10, I believe, at the Section 7A, so she's going to state this
Wow.
week. So,
hey, that Pazuzzi.
yeah, so congratulations to all of them and your accomplishments this year, and let's hope the state tournaments go well for you.
Well, speaking of things that are changing, they've got the big referendum in Chisholm now for the school, and even over in Nashwauk, which will be settled, on the 8th. So, is that going to change some of the athletic programs that are shared with Hibbing?
Yeah.
So,
Well, I can tell you, I won't say it on air, but I can tell you 2 sports right now that should probably be combined, which would help both programs, but I'm not going to say anything because that's not my place.
oh, okay.
So,
Do you want me to guess?
well, no, I'm not referring to the one specifically, but there's a couple others. I'll tell you after the show.
Okay. Well, the big thing here in my mind is that Hibbing needs to take care of Hibbing, and let's get our ducks in a row and figure out what has to be done to make this a competitive program, and then go from there. So that's my own personal feeling.
No, it's all right.
So
I agree. I don't disagree with you either. But okay, well, it was brought to my attention prior to the show that somebody wrote a column a couple weeks ago
about the Wild,
about the Wild and the Wolves.
that's that guy Gary G.
And he had the Wolves making the playoffs, and he had the Wild not making the playoffs. Now, it was only 3 games into the season. I get it, out of 82 games. So I'm kind of being tongue-in-cheek when I write some of these things. But It's like,
Kind of like that coffee you drink.
yeah. But it looks like it's the opposite
Yep.
of what might happen. It looks like the Wild. No, it's only 9 games in.
Right,
So
right.
it's-
But
it's-
they had everybody scared because their first 3 games they looked like not the team of what they were last year, but now they, in their last 5 games, I think they're
They're like 4-1
4-1-1.
and 1 or something
like
in
that.
their last 6.
Yep.
And they're 2 points, according to our producer, they're 2 points out of first place, which is good because you don't want to get too far behind.
Right. And I assume Colorado's in first place.
Yeah, I
Dallas.
might not. Yeah, I
You
haven't
mean
heard much.
the North Stars?
Yeah, the former North Stars, but then I heard the Vegas Golden Knights are like 9-1,
Yeah.
but they're not in our
Division.
division.
They're in the Pacific.
But they're in the other division. But so there's a whole lot of shaking going on with Jerry Lee Lewis.
Yeah. Unfortunately, who
He
passed away.
Yes. You're probably surprised I know that reference, but
Yeah.
yeah. So hopefully they pick up their play again. They play the Kraken, I believe. Is it tonight? The Wild, or is it Friday night?
What's that give a name like the Kraken?
But yeah, that's their next game against Seattle, and then who they should beat.
Yep.
But they should have beat Detroit and lost 2-1, which was that was the only bummer about that road trip. I mean, losing to Boston in overtime wasn't so bad.
No,
but
losing to Detroit.
Detroit 2-1. Detroit's a team you should pounce on and beat every time you play them, just like the Canadians.
Eh?
Yeah. Eh.
Eh?
What? I guess we've owned the Canadians over the past few years, but that
Yeah.
never used to be the case. I
No.
know that. I mean, the Canadians used to own us, but
Well, back in the day when the North Stars and the Canadians played, it's the best show on ice back when they played. And, they had the Guy Lafleur and Patrick Waugh.
Guy Lapointe,
Guy Lapointe.
Kenny Dryden. Yeah, how does that name fit in?
And we had Bill Goldsworthy, Gump Worsley,
Dino Ciccarelli.
Sorelli. Oh,
Neil
let me open
Braun.
the garage door, Dino. JB Parisi.
and all that. But yeah, no, good for the Wild. I mean, no, I always want my this Minnesota teams to do well, but you know how pessimistic I
Yep.
am. You always wait
Well,
for the
then-
other shoe to fall.
We're not going to talk about the Vikings then.
Yeah, we will. We'll talk about the Vikings as long as you segued into it.
Yep.
6-1.
6-1.
How do you feel about the 6-1?
4-game
record?
lead over the Green Bay Packers. Gary, Super One.
Carrie. I talked to Carrie the other day.
Yeah.
I said, Aaron Rodgers, you gonna serve me over here or what?
Hey, what do you think if Aaron Rodgers leaves the Packers and plays for the Vikings like Brett Favre did?
Yeah, I don't know if that's gonna happen anytime soon. But what do you think about their 6-1 record?
Well, that deal, that expression, smoke and mirrors, they got that going on
Yeah.
because I had the opportunity to watch them play Arizona, and they should have killed Arizona. They should have just put them away, and then they let them back in, and yeah, the offense looked good. And now they pick up this new tight end from Detroit, who's supposed to be the best tight end in the league. Why would Detroit give up somebody like that for a 5th-round choice?
That was the talk on KFAN this morning is why do you trade within your division? But so far our new GM
That's what he's done.
hasn't been afraid to trade within the division.
Well,
He's traded-
the Packer deal worked out well for him.
Well, Zadarius, I believe, signed as a free agent,
Yeah, but he came from Green
but
Bay.
he came from Green Bay.
And he's player of the month in the NFC. So I don't know. They look good at times, but then other times they keep you on pins and needles because you don't know what's going to happen next. But are they as good as Philadelphia? As good as Buffalo? Well, we'll find out. I mean, we found out at Philadelphia they're not. We'll find out
Yeah.
when they play Dallas and Buffalo. So
Well, but I watched some of that Packer Buffalo game, and I thought
second half Packers on
the Packers gashed them with the
run. Yep.
So I don't know if like Buffalo was what they were thinking. And then I saw what's his name, Josh Allen throw two miserable passes that were intercepted. So I don't know what he was thinking.
Well, you look at the Vikings, and their Achilles heel again is their offensive line, and either they they teach Kirk Cousins how to roll out and throw, or figure out something else, because he doesn't have the time to throw.
Well, those guys have graded out pretty high this year.
Yeah, well,
I don't know. I'm not saying you're wrong, but it's like they have graded. Darisaud's graded out pretty high. Even Bradbury has graded out pretty high this year, and he used to be one of the not the best ones in the line.
What about their kicker?
Well, their kicker is probably failing.
yeah. I think
No, he's probably a C plus or a C
Yeah.
minus or something, but
well, you know what that means in the NFL.
not for long.
Not for long.
There we go. Maybe somebody was saying they should trade for Daniel Carlson and get him back.
There you go.
But they obviously the trade deadline is passed. You mentioned they picked up T.J. Hawkinson
Yep.
from the Lions, who had like a 187-yard game the other one, I think last week or the week before. Whether or not he can block, that's it's not bad. He's not bad at it, but
Well, the story I heard, he's one of the best
Well,
blocking tight
yeah.
ends in the league.
well,
He's
I've
kind of
heard
like Gronk,
Yeah, I've heard average, but
Yeah.
even average or above is
better than what they
Yeah,
got.
yeah.
Unfortunately, the young man that Smith got hurt, so he's out for 8 to 10 weeks or so, or maybe the season. So he just gave you the finger. Oh, 2 fingers. So 2 minutes.
2 minutes to go.
So, anyways, let's hope the Vikings do well. Timberwolves, I think they're going to come. I think they look. I did watch them play LA, only because I like to see LeBron get beat. But they look pretty good against them. But last night they not so good.
Well, we thought they'd start 7-1, 6-2
Yep.
with the schedule they had, but San Antonio's played better than they
Yeah.
have, which shouldn't be the case, but unfortunately it was.
Yep.
And what are you going to do
Now
about
they
it?
play the Bucks tomorrow night.
Yeah.
Play who?
Milwaukee Bucks.
Oh, the Bucks.
Yeah. And they didn't get swamped by Phoenix the other night, but
Lost by 9
their bench played better
than the
than the
starters.
starters
Yep.
did.
And they're what'd you say, 3 for 20 something at the
Well, I don't. That was
3-point
maybe
line?
that probably wasn't exactly right, but their percentage from the 3-point line wasn't very good. But
Well, you got a guy at 7'2" and Rudy Gobert. You come down the floor, throw the ball around, and take a 3.
yeah,
What happened to working in the middle? And you got Cat, who's 7'1" on the other side.
well, hopefully they'll figure it out.
They will. They will. So
All right. So for Mike Egan, I'm Gary Chimbetti. We'll end on that, and we'll see you again next week.
Hibbing Public Access Television would like to thank U.S. Bank for providing us with studio space.